Welcome to the Pen and Paper Hive. I am your Wolf and your host. Wait, no, I am your host, Wolf. But I am a Game Master since 2001 and I present you in this topic 3 Game Master tips that will really help you out and you really need. First tip is communication, and communication you should already have learned is a key element for us human beings, as it's very important for friends, family, work, and so on. It's also especially important for a game master because communication is the key element of how you pitch your ideas, how you pitch campaign or adventure ideas, what you can tell your players, what they can expect from you and what you expect from players. And this sub element is clear communication. Things you didn't communicate can't be taken as informations. If you say you don't want to sex in your adventures but don't communicate it, well, it's not known, and people maybe come up with, oh, I will have sex with this dragon and this dragon and this dragon. Every dragon gets sex with me, and you're sitting there like, oh, please, no. And then you communicate it too late. Well, it's never too late to communicate, but learn it to do it properly and early on and be clear about it. Second tip is build small. I create huge worlds with a lot of information to take in, down to the creation of gods. 90% of that stuff is never used and people are not interested in those informations and don't browse my worlds for those because they don't need it. So I learned to create small. I create small counties where my players are playing in because there is not much more needed. A city, 1 or 2 settlements, maybe a second city, a couple of points of interest, and all the information they get are 1 or 2 paragraphs. At the end, when I am done with creating a county, there is usually 1 to 2 pages of information surrounding that, and that's it. Train it, build small. You can always add things, but everything big and small has pros and cons, of course. But yeah, build small. It's a very important thing when you are starting out, especially when you're starting out. Don't think big, think small and add to those things so you can create a lot of new things. Third and last tip is take feedback. Since 2001 I'm a game master. Yes, I started playing role-playing games 2001 and started to be a game master in 2001. Right off the bat. And when I played in groups, they had something called a feedback sessions right after each game session, where everyone gave critique to players and to the game master, and usually it was valuable critique or feedback. That's it. I do that since day 1 I'm game mastering, and it helped me to develop the skills I have today to create exceptionally well-crafted adventures or crafted worlds and so on, because I listen to my players. And most important, you don't have to take everything you take, but you don't use everything. Players once told me, hey, we don't like when monsters flee, we want to crush them, we want to defeat them. And I actually laughed and said, well, then work towards it. It's not my problem. Monsters act how they should act. They are intelligent most of the time and they will act like it. And if you don't want to have monsters fleeing, you should work towards that. But most important for feedback is that you should learn, you should train your players too. Feedback is no invitation to discussion. Discussions is something completely else. Feedback is I say something, you take it in, and you decide how you deal with that feedback. But feedback has to be constructive. It always have to have in what it is, what is the problem, who is this problem attached to, and a small explanation what you would eventually deal or how you would deal with it. Not every player will give you constructive critique, but those who are doing this correctly, and you can train players towards that, will help you immensely to be a very, very good game master after some time, of course. If you're an experienced game master and want to try it out, what I have learned over a long time now is that usually for 5-man groups, when you're already experienced, the feedback usually doesn't take longer than 10 to 15 minutes, so plan the time in. And if you are starting out, feedback could take from 15 minutes to 30 minutes of time. So maybe if you're new and talk a lot, and don't fear if you discuss some critique, it's okay, but you really have to learn that a feedback is always a one-way street. You give feedback, someone takes it and then decides how they use it. Those are the 3 tips I want to give you along the way to be a better game master right from the start, because those 3 things for me personally are the key elements. At least 2 of the things. The build small is something I have learned recently or figured out myself, but communication and feedback are for me, from personal standpoint, on the most important things ever. There will never be something above communication and feedback. Nothing will stand over that. Everything else comes below. If you do linear adventures, if you do sandbox, everything comes below, but communication and feedback are the most important stuff ever. I hope you get some inspiration out of that. Maybe you are trying feedback sessions or had already tried that. Tell me your experience down in the comments. I am very happy to see what you have experienced with that so far. What do you tell, or what do you want to tell me how I could improve my videos as example? I take the feedback in as well. If you like the video, give it a like. If you dislike the video, give it a dislike. Follow me, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out any of my content. That will definitively inspire you to a more and better game master than you could be. No, wait, that's a very... I hope this content will make you a better game master, at least maybe better than me. And until the next video, I wish you a very good time and a +1 on your next roll. Bye bye. Now we do this chair thing. Oh, I didn't die. Great.